Well, the Trump hush money trial continues today. Michael Cohen has been on the stand getting cross-examined, but his former attorney, Robert Costello, was testifying to Congress yesterday. Boy, did he reveal some interesting things about Michael Cohen. Listen to this.
He also said that he didn't discuss the Stormy Daniels matter with us, and he certainly did. I specifically asked him because he kept on going back saying, I can't believe they're trying to put me in jail for these NDAs. So I said, Michael, tell me about the NDA. Tell me about Stormy Daniels. What did you do? He said, I got a call from a lawyer representing Stormy Daniels who represented that she was going to testify that Donald Trump had sex with Stormy Daniels. Michael Cohen said, I didn't believe the allegation, but I knew that such an allegation would be terribly embarrassing. That's why I decided to take care of this on my own.
So he took care of it all on his own. Why is Robert Costello not testifying in Manhattan? Now we have the matter of the Biden White House asserting executive privilege over the Robert Hur Biden tapes. Oh, yes, games. With me to talk about both of these things, Congressman Greg Steube. He represents Florida's 17th Congressional District. Congressman, nice to see you again. Let's start with Robert Costello. Man, what a bombshell that is. And why is he not in the courtroom, Congressman?
Yeah, I hope that they do call him as a witness on the defense side simply to impeach the testimony of Michael Cohen. And not only did he talk about the clip that you showed, he also said that this was all Cohen's idea, that Trump had no involvement in this whatsoever, and he was upset that he wasn't appointed attorney general or something like that, and he wanted to ingratiate himself back into the Trump orbit, and he thought by taking care of this on his own would make Trump world happy, and he did it all himself. He negotiated the deal. He got the money from a HELOC that he pulled out on his own house, and Trump didn't have anything to do with it. And he told Bob Costello that, and they were, at the time, he was his lawyer, and because there was other things that Michael Cohen was trying to get criminal involvement in, he waived his attorney-client privilege, so now Bob Costello is able to talk about this to Congress. So you've got a very credible witness, a lawyer. You have Michael Cohen going to him for legal representation, who tells him all of these things, obviously in confidence that he's his lawyer, and that's really what happened. And now you have, Alvin Bragg using Michael Cohen, who's a convicted serial liar, to try to go after Trump when that's absolutely not factually what occurred. So I sure hope that the Trump defense team brings Bob Costello as an impeachment witness to impeach the credibility of Michael Cohen, because those are very extraordinary facts that would highlight what was really going on at that time to the jury.
Well, and it would. And here's the thing. The case is allegedly about misidentifying or false filing of a business expense or something like that. I mean, it's such a Frankenstein case. I'm not really sure what the charge is. Nobody's quite sure what the charge is. But Bob Costello did point out a couple of things. He also said during the testimony that Michael Cohen said, I have nothing on Donald Trump, nothing. And then they talked about the expense of it and said, yes, that's a business expense. It's an NDA, as Michael Cohen kept referring to it. It's an NDA. It is a legitimate business expense in this particular case. There's nothing. I mean, how many NDAs will be signed today have already been signed today in this country? Thousands is the answer. I mean, it's so common. It happens every day in America. And here we are charging somebody as if it's a crime. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, you have on view for the American people the complete weaponization of the DOJ to go after President Trump, and using the criminal justice to do that against their number one opponent, who will be the Republican nominee this summer, and they're using the justice system to try to go after him. It's amazing. I don't even think they care if they get a conviction. They know that he's got to spend millions of dollars. They know that he's getting sucked into being in court for weeks at a time and can't be on the campaign trail, and that was their ultimate purpose. And then to try to damage him. I mean, if you're watching mainstream media and believing some of the lies that MSNBC and CNN are putting out there, that, oh, this is what was going on, and it's all an absolute concocted lie by the left and the deep state to just try to tarnish Donald Trump. This will be appealed. Even if he gets convicted, there's all sorts of issues that will be appealed and he'll be successful. But obviously that's not going to stop this weaponization of Joe Biden's DOJ going going after their number one political opponent.
Absolutely agree. It would be beautiful if there was an acquittal in the case. Nobody expects that. A hung jury, maybe, but I don't expect that either. I expect they convict because it's New York. Maybe I'm wrong, Congressman, but we'll keep an eye on that one. Now, let me shift gears for a moment. This tape of President Joe Biden, taken by Robert Hur during their investigation of Joe Biden's handling of classified documents, which clearly he had documents he was not entitled to have, even as a senator, even as vice president. And he kept those documents to the point that he had on tape bragging to his ghostwriter, hey, I found the classified stuff. We're all aware of this now, right? But now the White House asserting privilege over this tape. Why do you think that is?
Well, under the investigator's own testimony, he's either incompetent to withstand trial because he's too old and doesn't understand what is going on, or he actually violated the law and should be held accountable. So you have the sitting president who actually violated the law and should be held accountable, and then you have them going after Trump, where Trump had the ability as president at that time to unclassify documents that they're going after him for. So it's always blaming the other person and accusing the other person of something that they're actually doing wrong. And now they're trying to conceal it, exerting executive privilege so that the Congress, who has oversight authority over the Department of Justice, can't hear for ourselves what the testimony was. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You can't understand how deep the deep state is. And I'm glad that the Republican House has been able to bring some of this to light to just show you how deep the corruption is in Washington.
Do you think we'll ever hear the tape? Because I'd sure like to hear it. I don't care if I'd sure like to hear it and hear how on the ball Joe Biden is. I think that's fair for the American people to hear.
I think we will get it, but they'll take us to court. The House will have to sue and subpoena the information. They know that it'll take more than 6 months before the election for us to get the information, and by then the election's over. So their goal is to keep it for as long as possible so that it's not out there in the public sphere before November.
Right. Here's something they can't avoid now, and I was surprised by this big news yesterday. We were just talking about it at the top of the show, but Joe Biden offers 2 debates. Now, there's all sorts of rules, no audience. It can only be moderators from CNN or CBS or Telemundo. CNN has the first debate. No audience, no third parties. Mics have to be closed when, it's not your turn, so on and so forth. But it's coming on June 27th. And I have this sneaking feeling, Congressman, they're putting it out there as a test for Joe Biden. Can he pass the test? Can he deliver and make it happen? Or did they say, well, Joe, you didn't pass the test, so go for a replacement candidate prior to the convention in August? I think it's a test. What do you think?
Yeah, that's an interesting theory. I can't wait to watch Donald Trump debate Joe Biden and destroy him on the public stage. But the fact that they're putting all of these little caveats, no audience, we're going to shut the mics off after your response, is absolutely ridiculous. There's never been any debate at the presidential level that's had all these different things on it. But they have to protect him as much as possible as they can because they know that Trump's going to be much more successful in the debate than Joe Biden will be.
I think maybe they should just run it in black and white, more comfortable for Joe that way.
On the radio.
I mean, if we're going to go back to 1960. Yeah, do it on the radio in black and white. Congressman, always a pleasure having you here. Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you.